So the next big holiday coming up is Christmas, as we know. I'm going to share some scriptures to explain why we can't be participating in these things. So we're going to go to Jeremiah 10 from verse 2. Thus says Jehovah, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. For the customs of the people are vain, for one cuts a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workmen with the axe. They deck it with silver and gold, they fasten it with nails and hammers, that it move not. So, going back to verse 2, learn not the way of the heathen. So the heathen is like, you know, like someone that's not of God, like basically a Gentile, someone outside the covenants of promise, which connects to Ephesians 2. You graft into the spiritual house of Israel through obedience to the covenants of promise, which is to keep the 10 Commandments and to eat biblically clean, the Rainbow Covenant. And then, sorry, I'm trying to read my laptop. What was I going to say? Yeah, so being not dismayed at the signs of heaven, so don't participate in like, what are they called? Well, Christmas is a winter solstice celebration. What's it called? Frick, I forgot what it's called. Oh, Saturnalia. And then, you know, we've got Easter as well, which is a spring equinox celebration, a fertility celebration. But yeah, so like celebrating these like specific times of the season for whatever reason, like different things. But those holidays, and you can search this out, those celebrations were to honor other little g gods. Like we have Ishtar, we have Nimrod, we have I can't think of all the names now. Well, like Baal worship. And yeah, so that's what those celebrations are for. And they were very dark celebrations. They were like basically, well, it involved child sacrifice and like orgies and stuff like that. Really horrible stuff. And, you know, you can't just paint over something to make it Christian. In fact, it even tells us that in the word. So in Deuteronomy 12:30, take heed to thyself that you not be snared by following them, after that they be destroyed from before thee, and that you inquire not after their gods, saying, how do these nations serve their gods? Even so will I do likewise. Like, you might have heard, like, oh yeah, Christmas was pagan, but the Christians took it over and now it's about Messiah. No, you can't do that. You can't bring something clean out of an unclean. That's in, I think it's Job 4. Or Job 14. One of those. What else? Oh yeah, I was gonna go, I love using this one, it's just so like straightforward. But Mark 7, we'll go from verse 7. Howbeit in vain do they worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men. For laying aside the commandment of God, you hold the tradition of men. And then it says like blah blah blah. I'm just gonna stop there though. Oh, actually, and then we'll go to verse 9. For full well you reject the commandment of God that you may keep your own tradition. What are the churches doing? Do they teach to keep the 10 Commandments? I guarantee you, if you ask your pastor, do we need to keep the 10 Commandments? They'll tell you, oh no, it's just a suggestion. Oh, the Old Testament's done away with. They'll say something like that. No church today is teaching to keep the 10 Commandments. That is why we're heading to Great Tribulation. That is why the world is the way it is. Because you are punished for disobedience and blessed for obedience. Deuteronomy 28 and Leviticus 26. So the churches don't teach to keep the 10 Commandments, but they'll celebrate Christmas, they'll celebrate Easter, worldly traditions. Instead of keeping God's commandments, they go on their own vain imagination, their own understanding, what they see as right in their own eyes. It's self-righteousness. The righteousness of God is according to his commandments. It's Deuteronomy 6:25 and Psalm 119, 172. What was I going to say? I'm trying to think if there's some other key ones about this. Oh, well, yeah, I didn't explain, but back in Jeremiah 10, what do you think that's talking about? Bringing a tree inside, decorating it. Even silver and gold are like common Christmas colors. Like, I know it changes every year and whatever, but like, it's kind of like the classic. And people will argue, oh no, they're talking about a carved Asheroth pole. It's the same thing. It's saying don't bring a tree inside and decorate it. It changed over time, the exact appearance of this thing. It was an Asherah pole. Now we have a Christmas tree. Now we have people making a big cross and decorating it for Jesus. Well, the Messiah was not born on December 25. Nimrod was, Baal was, a bunch of pagan gods. We don't know when the Messiah was born. Not exactly, and we were never told to worship his birthday. Go and look up, what's it called? Yule and Saturnalia. That's what this tradition is that you participate in, thinking it's for the Messiah. It is not. You cannot be doing this. It will send you to hell. It is pagan idolatry. And idolatry is spiritual adultery against God, because instead of keeping God's commandments, you're more worried about doing these nice little holidays. Well, if you knew what they were actually based in, you wouldn't be doing that. But even though people do know, they still do it. Yeah. But this is your warning. It's time to start obeying God in spirit and in truth. And God has a name. It's Jehovah. His son's name is Yeshua. It means salvation. Jehovah is salvation. Yeshua comes in his Father's name, his Father's authority. He isn't the Father himself. There's no Trinity. That's a made-up, man-made Catholic pagan crap. Go and read, like, 1 John. Read the book of John, and you tell me that Jesus is God. But that's the thing too. That's not his name. Because Jesus is the one that comes in his own name, his own authority. John 5:43. And you receive him. The whole world receives him. The whole world proclaims that name. Well, the name of Baal will be taken out of the people's mouths in the second Exodus. Before the millennial reign, before the new covenant. We're not in the new covenant. The prince of the world right now is Satan. And if you're worshipping Jesus and he doesn't convict you to keep the commandments of God, that is not the Messiah. You are worshipping the Antichrist, and you receive the Antichrist spirit of error. And what else? Yeah, don't do Christmas. We might not even have... We've got very little time left. It's been 2,000 years since Yeshua was killed. He's coming back in 2,000 years with a sort of judgment with 144,000. So I would try and get into covenant now, because if it's in great tribulation, you can only save yourself. And it's going to be hell on earth. You try and teach people to keep the commandments when they're eating each other. People are eating their own babies. People are murdering each other and raping each other. You try and teach them then.